spiritual person is liable to get kind of soft spoken if we get into those places where it takes subtle expression to really. I mean, that's the way you know that it's happening for us. And it's very difficult here, which brings me to the state of the numbed, right? The money people, the money system, the money run. It's definitely a gear, and it keeps you numb. But see, I've been queuing in on the frozen deal. It's frozen. There's no evolution in consciousness. See, there's a glass ceiling spiritually, of course, and that means that nobody's making it to outer space, not really. And see, what we see is heavy government, heavy duty governing, and people doing their own thing there. There is just a machine chugging. Like what I mean is like the world. Welcome to the world. You've got just people. All right, and so my last video wearing this shirt, I apologize. It's probably like this video where the volume might not be up all the way, and I guess I just have to restart my computer to get it all to click in and function. Sometimes it does that, but see, did you know that it's all geared that way? It's geared to not work right. If anybody makes a breakthrough, like such as what I have kind of found about the English alphabet and how that we're supposed to interface here in order to get a banking system open up, because that's what they're offering. They're doing that now, and people that reject it are slowing down the process. See, they don't know that's like, well, it's money. Money is money is money is money. And what if it's more accessible? See, even some people some people of very low income have iPhones. They can have access to all of their bills being paid if they played the game right. I'm pretty sure. Really, Shauna? Well, how do you play the game? Oh, let's get back to the curriculum that the aperture, the human being that looks human, needs to know that, well, you say it looks human. Shauna! Oh, I'm not making this up. You have psychologists that are studying that there's a non-human faction. There's two types. There's the non-human entity, and then there's the human. The human accomplishment is that of the phenomena that the Buddhists talk about, who they speak of becoming. They say once you have reached or arrival or enlightenment, right? Oh, now I just got an eye roll. A lot of you are just, we are outnumbered by you people too, because you sit numb, comfortably numb, right? What does it for you? Oh, the money that is hooked into the diabolical that requires you to be numb. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to skim anything off the top, mainly your energy as a human potential. Really, just as you know. Now let's open up the Epstein files, which is very important. I'll make it the next video. The next video that I put up is a longer video. I'm wearing this shirt, and it talks more seriously about some things. And but it makes me feel better to do these things, believe it or not. There's something that just like I sit and I don't feel good, and then when I get on here and I start expressing myself, then I feel better. Especially these last two videos. So I don't know if they're different to you than the other ones that aren't getting that many likes. It's because that I get I start sounding horrible. I'm coming from a whole different place though. See, it's weird, right? It's very difficult to express and get a point cleanly across And it's the big, of course. I mean, it's just rule of thumb that it's going to be attacked. But here's the thing about the nature of silence. It's possible to hear silence in words, which is the experience of the truth. See, when somebody says it accurately enough, I mean, when they really do say it, see, 20 people will just be like gung ho. They'll say, nope, that's it. That's it. That's how it is. And only two people will come back at you and say, you know what? And they'll challenge you. And it's like, you know what? See, there's where you have to see. It could be very powerful when see, you can feel the power behind those people. See, those people are driven by the diabolical. A lot of times they are. They are very, see, I say that diabolical, but really, what is it? It's people. I hate to talk about this, but it's an entity that is very disconnected. I mean, animals can be diabolical. I mean, yeah, they can be very negative, if that's the word you want to use, but I don't like to use that. It's kind of unhealthy. How about say that? That's more what you mean. See, I'm going to be all about talking about these words. I have spent 12 years defining, well, don't be prejudiced about positive and negative because they kind of go together. Every single thing has a positive and negative aspect. See, so there's the thing that mental cases do is they say, well, you have to have mainly positive thoughts. And so if you have a negative thought, you should replace it with 3 positive thoughts. And you know what? I get it, but you should try to actualize some things every once in a while, because just sitting there with your mind who wants you to fixate on it, just like a narcissist. In fact, it is the narcissist right there. We just figured it out what it was. Nature of the mind is left unseen of itself, which, if it's left to be the boss, which of course it wants to be the boss, that's all it can be. It's all it can try to do. Why? Because it's so insecure about the fact that engagement is necessary, especially amongst the human or social setting. It's kind of complex. You can't just drift around like a random object and say, whoops, blah. See, they're very narcissist, or the mind is very accident prone, to the point of, well, there's a way we can get around it. And what is it? Just to put bubble wrap on it and say we won't deal with it at all. And it's like, that's one way to get stuck in it forever. Hence, look at the world out there. It becomes a big cushion. Talk about now going back to, and it's not the right cushion. It's not the right cushion at all. You want to get into your body and start having experiences so that you have a reliable imagination. I try to tell you about the word imaginizers. It's imagine with the word, with the suffix, I guess would be called, ZAIZE, and of course the word the abbreviation AI is in there. And when you see it, babes, indeed take advantage of it. There it is. In the word said is AI, and it doesn't not point at AI. It does point at artificial intelligence. Okay, saying things is artificial experience of reality. No life is lived on the lips. The proper way, in case you want to defeat the narcissist, is just watch behaviors only. They talk a lot about the promise of something, especially about the, can I help you? And you're like, I don't think so. You have to become locative of reality, and then you can actually see that I can see you, but you can't really see me. That's the thing. So that's the thing that Christ would say. That's really one of the sayings that comes up is, I know you, but you do not yet know you. How is that possible? And it's rare. It's rare, but not really. It's rare to know that. But then again, it's rare to be aware that there are indeed authentically enlightened people. Okay, and so in the West, I was about to say, well, maybe we're just slightly more elevated. I mean, we're not perfect. We're not. No, actually, um, I don't know what to compare it to, right? Perfect compared to what? the dead society, the fucking absolutely non-present. Okay, they operate right now, it's the survival game. And that is operating like a machine that has been programmed. Very easy. I tried to explain that in the next video that you're going to see, that could be longer than this one, that explains the nature of the mind, where there is this at all costs kind of things, it's going to live. It's more important to defend itself as a mind only, especially the part how it needs to survive being found out, basically, because it's not real. Being found out that it's not real, right? The mind is such that it's going to, at all costs, it's going to defend itself. And that's what the narcissist is doing. I mean, that's what a malignant case is very dangerous, because you can be framed. Is this the same video or is it the last video? I started out, I'm glad that I might have hit a full circle now, that no, you will be framed by these other frames. See, but they don't know that they are a frame, right? And so, but they try and plug you with it. They don't know that that's their karma. It's not yours, but you are having to take it. Hi, Jesus, was that you? Girl, you are so on it. Did you actually like it? Not really, and I'm gone, and I don't need to come back. Okay, shh. Don't let people know that you will never be back. Good God. Because Jesus isn't coming back, baby. I trip out that there are people that say that. It's like, ooh, there's another one that kind of shirks responsibility, because you know what? You need to take some kind of responsibility. We might do that. See, right now we have an understanding of where we are. Is the point before hurl? I don't know. It's okay. Kali Yuga. Tell me, is it the vomit period, or is it after you had vomit, or is it the inhale before the vomit comes, right? Or is it just like right in between the inhale and the vomit? Is that very point? I think it's that very point right there where it's like you look around and you're like, wait a minute, did those people just put up a bunch of tons of bike signs prior to the fact that they're going to raise the gas prices up to $12 an hour, or $12, and you hardly make $12 an hour? See, I see a world where that machine that pumps. See, they up here in the United States, I guess you could say that. I think it's the same everywhere in every modern day nation, where they'll pull the so-called homeless out, but really it's people who live on the earth in the jungles. I mean, I think that they were trying to heal from wars that happened before. I mean, why don't they live in the stone buildings anymore, right? I mean, how come they're all overgrown in the forest over there? It's like somebody dragged them out and said, "Here, this is better," which is to hook you up to a cushion, right? You manufacture a cushion, sorry, and then you have the electricity there that keeps you numbed. Did I talk about the numb part? Yeah, you're getting digital. You have a digital ID, and that has, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not a number though. I'm not. They say digital for a reason, and it's because you're a one. See, a digit is a one, right? Isn't it? Like, what I mean is it's a singular number. A number is many digits put together. Correct me if I'm wrong, but see, here's the thing: is that um, this is a digit. I remember that they're calling your fingers digits. Sorry, I'm looking at my cat. I'm making a little bit of thumpy here, and we've got gray in the background and diddle diddle there, you can see. And so anyway, but see, the thing about the cabal and the satanic cult, but really what's being driven around by way, see, they're being transparent, and when they go like this and they do this, see, they're telling you about the attic. See, this, you don't see the whole thing. You think that it's just one symbol, right, made by my hand, but no, the arms are involved. You have an A there. That's the plasmatic field. See, the attic. See, when they take control of that, they're taking control of the human potential also, and that's what they're saying, honestly, on the money, in which that money actually controls a lot of the other world. out there. In fact, that money, the most recent, which is, it's in the hands of the diabolical, but see, they're being very, very, very honest about, see, they say, in God we trust, and then they show that you're supposed to know that, like, okay, that there's a broke off civilization. You're supposed to just know that. See, that's, they put those symbols up, and that's what that means, and you're supposed to just know it, but you don't. See, they're being transparent. Now, I suspect it's from 2026 years ago that they are being transparent. Sorry. About 1500 years later, after the slaughter of Christ, they would make things in plain sight. They would, like, say, like, okay, for instance, well, the Christianity itself, they say it's fine to kill and do a blood sacrifice of anybody who stands up and says something contrary to our belief, which, uh, anybody who's doing believing is caught by a visible occupation that is trained to do mind control, but they are actually being governed by a very diabolical fourth dimensional parasite just beyond this spectrum of light of seeing. And indeed, it's a hell of a subject matter. It's scary. It's scary, but believe me, because, well, that's what we're dealing with. See, have you dealt with it within yourself? Have you dealt with it? Did you ever, like, embrace the darkness within you? Because, see, the thing is that's the only, see, just like I was talking about the money thing. Why don't you embrace it? Why don't you make it and own it? Because that's the only way to turn it into something that's like, no, this is a great idea. See, the only thing that's going to work is what works is the truth that in this field of information, biologically, there is disease that happens if you do something wrong. Let me go let the cat out. And that's just a matter of fact. See, a lot of people don't want to know about this, but those people are dealing with the fact that they have done something wrong so much, like they've done something that was, like, not healthy. It's something that, in fact, you probably could live without it perfectly fine. And I'm here to tell you kids right now is that the world is full of that. In fact, it's like, well, I'd say about, well, the world itself is that, babes. You just got to transcend it and say, well, I thought that was interesting, but it turns out it has nothing to do with me. Hi. But if you can do that before you take the last breath on your deathbed, all the more power to you. You can be of some help to some other people, but if it happens to you just 40 seconds before your last breath on your deathbed, at least that, then it's, you might make a clean escape. But you see, um, the ideal is to realize the true nature of reality. Yeah. Once you catch a whiff of that, there is where some people, and they are controversial, and it is too. If you ever get into it, you'll say, you are going to be, you're on lockdown now. You're like, too late, though, I won. What do you mean? Well, I'm free. See, I already know my eternal life. It's like whatever. And this life is very short compared to that. I mean, it's like we only live once at a time, kind of a thing. Um, Supposedly, according to old Sanskrit over there, way older than Christianity. Um, there's reincarnation, and people say, well, I'm going to come back as Maharaji Kampachapa, whatever the fuck their name is. And they do. They come back and they say, yeah, no, I was in this last body, and they know that for now this baby right here is the, and it's like, yes, they remember. And no, it's studies today. You don't have to be so way over there, the Maharaji mosques or whatever. You can be American. You can be a little boy being born who says, excuse me, there was something happened in my last lifetime, and war heroes are meeting up with their buddies who died, who are 83 years old, and their buddy, 4 or 5, just the 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 little boy remembers those guys, and so he looked them up and said, "Hey, I got to go hang out with my war buddies, man. That's really happening." And then the next question I'm going to say, which is unique because I don't get excited much about much. I keep going. I'm like, exactly, like who's interested in that? Ah, is that interesting? I mean, what? How far does that go for us? Do we have coffee over the stories that you're going to share with the little boy and the big guy? Is that little boy's got to move on? They're going to die. Like, does he get connected and say, "Gosh, and what next am I going to do? I'm going to meet up with all of the junk that I left behind." Me, I do some pretty trippy things, but it's like, no, nobody's interested. I mean, no, it's great. You will come upon it. That's why you want to do it. Do something worthwhile. I played so much music, and I would love to do it again, but it seems like I'm done. Why? Well, first of all, did you know it's a battle for soul at this time? Sorry, there's a lot of noise going on with my fucking cat. What I mean is, they're trying to get rid of things from like the inside out. Like they want to control your perception about everything. I detected, see, just with the music alone, that they have gotten melodies from a time that was, you never know. You just never know what they were singing behind those melodies, but now they're singing a different word behind it. And see, I'm more sensitive to the melodies and the way that the melodies make us feel and the sound of it and everything. And it speaks more than the words that might come with it and everything. So anyway, sorry, the cats are doing something. It's like, why is this happening to me, man? So anyway, I'm gonna try and get back to some sleep. I'm trying to get sleep. I want my life to change. I'm not talking about it much, but it will change. It will happen. I need time alone more though. Sorry, can you hear me? I don't want to talk about this. I was just more doing entertainment. Anyway, catch the next videos. I hope it's informative. I mean, what I'm coming from is this perspective that I know that's happening here, and I am able to say this and not worry about being cut off. I'm already cut off, but I'm ahead in a lot of ways. I think it's as a result of the work that I do lifetime after lifetime that I'm able to kind of just now I'm getting the vision of leapfrog. See, you're this realm right here is just a stream, very temporary, and the life, the way that you're going through it, you're gonna hit these stones, but those stones are sinking in back of you, and they might seem to sink right under your feet, but you got to jump, and you got to keep going, and pretty soon they might just all disappear. But if you're doing it right, that's fine. You just get wings now and you're flying. The stream is very temporary here. It's a solid stream time, but you're in a body and you have to experience it in the body. You won't experience it otherwise. I mean, maybe you can, but that's where you know for a fact it's not linear. I mean, you're looking at all the possibilities of what could have happened in that life, and having said that, we are experiencing such a drab one. I'm sorry, I'm a musician, and just the fact that a lot of people don't know how to play music here is like, that's weird because it's a higher learning tool. And it just seems like it's all being lost, and it will be lost, babes. We will head into a certain dark age. In fact, like, do we have to? Do we have to experience it? Getting back to that, in my next video, I talk about the experience of, yeah, don't focus on the trash going out. The band's there. Find out what the master is working on. Go there, learn the truth, be sturdy with it. Hold it up and say, like this. Like what? Babes, there is such an outnumbering right now. It's like, okay, whatever. Do you ever? I don't know, man. When you get the papers right, when you're numbed by the money system and it's all about getting the A+ instead of actually doing something worthwhile, right? It's such a false sense of gratitude because eventually, babes, no, that's a double life kind of thing. But see, eventually, no, there's that mask that has to come off eventually. And you just say, see, I've seen it before. I live in a place where I've worked for a multimillionaire, and I've had a very good relationship with someone, at least, and that one um, confided in me very closely, and just, a lot of people will do that to me, though. That's just how I am. The worst, of the worst will uh kind of just give up the underground to me, and it's like, but I guess empaths get that, where people just spill their deepest, darkest secrets. Is like, I only knew you 30 seconds, but that's the usual, and we have to like brush that off. We have to, because in a way they're they're kind of vamping on us. They're kind of just taking advantage of us. I don't know. Have boundaries and try to not be one of those things. That's where you always have to put your mask up. But what I'm talking about is the mask of the gauntlet of the money run, and down to the family thing. That to me, oh my God, to me the family I can see, because you see, well, first of all, I don't have a family, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't deserve to be shut out just because I don't have a family. I think that's something that the cult made people do. They feel like that they have to do it amongst all kinds of other things. But that family was number one. Otherwise, we would just have each other and we wouldn't be living in bondage. Not at all. And it wouldn't be so abusive. I mean, all of that has just barely 300 years old, I think. Really. And people really don't know. I mean, okay, so it was a little bit longer, maybe, but not much. Okay, it's 2026 years old. Well, let's get rid of it. It's trash. And everything that comes out of it that calls itself, well, we are maybe the opposite, or yeah, we always know that. It's like, oh God, yeah, but don't you know that there was an effort behind the poor person that was killed, man? And that's the only thing that we can remember, right? Is that, well, somebody was killed 2026 years ago. Over what? Because they said something? Watch this video. Whatever. See, somebody that is, oh God, this place is so weird, because see, all you can do is say, well, would you like to get out of it? You want to get out of that spinning wheel over there? The only reason why I could see why right now that I can't really remember, but it must be the logical reason, is because there's something better. There's all kinds of wheels. This one is like drab. And it says, I must have everybody drab, otherwise I can't exist. Well, fuck that. Spin off into something else. Maybe we don't even have to die to do that. Maybe that's what the message is too. It's like, and by the way, you can just access heaven now on earth as it is in heaven. Just get your fucking daily bread together. Did you wake up? Is the day on? Give us this day.